have a streaming issue with my streaming software, so I went over to Instagram and did a live there, and then I uploaded it the next day, I think. My Instagram name, I post daily content there, is also Thrifting is My Beach. I sell on multiple platforms, but tonight's show is going to be slightly different. If you're in the chat, please say hello and let me know what you are doing tonight, besides watching me. Okay, so my previous shows, I have gone over like reseller news, what sold. I usually start with ThredUp. Honestly, I don't have anything for ThredUp. I know I keep changing what I'm sending and what I'm telling you guys, but I think I've decided I'm only going to send like purses and higher dollar items because it's just not worth my time. I would rather sell the items myself, and moving forward, I'm going to show you I'm selling my reclaims from ThredUp on Facebook. So tonight's video, besides my solds, which is going to cover highlights from the last 2 weeks, because like I said, if you weren't live with me last week, I don't think I actually screen shared and showed you my solds. I just kind of verbally told you. So we're going to go over Facebook Marketplace. I've been talking about it a lot recently, but haven't really gone into detail. If you go back in my playlist, probably 3 months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I did a how to list on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I mainly cross-posted. I can't remember if I made a listing from scratch directly from their site, because I do use List Perfectly. It has tremendously grown my business, and it's totally worth. The plan starts between $29, and I think the highest pro plan is what, $60. I do the business plan, and I think it's $49. Totally worth it. Okay, so let's just dive right in. That's going to be the outline. I'm going to tell you the general rules for Facebook. If you're not familiar, Facebook Marketplace has really boomed this last year. I think COVID really helped it. And people were afraid to leave their home, so they were on Facebook all the time. And then a lot of people discovered Facebook Marketplace. So it's like Amazon, but more personal. I think they may have more trust just because it's Facebook, and not everybody has Amazon Prime. So, okay. I also live by train tracks. I pretty much say that in all my shows. You're going to hear trains here and there, and I just put my kids to bed, so they may come down. I won't be surprised if they don't. But, okay, the general rules for Facebook, very, very similar to selling online pretty much with any platform. You can't sell body parts, firearms, money. I don't even think you can sell like food. You can't sell animals. You cannot use the word leather in your title. There are certain words that get picked up from the artificial intelligence and you get flagged. So when you go to list your item and you click create or submit listing or whatever, like a minute or two later, if it gets flagged, it's going to come up and say, this violates Facebook's policies. It will not be visible to others. And if you get enough of those, you can actually get your account blocked. Now, going back, a lot of people, there's just so much of Facebook. Okay, so a lot of people use Facebook for their personal use, which I do, I myself. And so they have all their friends and family. So my husband has an old Facebook account that he had for a long time. He's not really a social media kind of guy. So we just decided probably 5 years ago to share my Facebook account. So I post my personal stuff on my personal Facebook, and I use his old account for Facebook Marketplace. Now, I'll tell you something that is a positive with doing that is that I initially did local meetups, and I built up my, now this is pre-COVID, and I built up my feedback because people can leave you ratings. And so some people like to check out people's profiles to make sure they're not a scammer and that they are trustworthy. And so by doing it locally, I was able to build up feedback, which I think may have helped, because I've heard from some sellers that they go to create go to list stuff on Facebook Marketplace and they don't have the option to ship in certain categories. And so that's something I can't answer for you, is that if you start selling immediately on Facebook, if you can list and ship in every single category. I'm not sure realistically, just letting you know that. But that's how I started. And then Facebook Marketplace with the shipping feature, I believe rolled out, I can't have an exact date for you, but I started using it in early 2020. So because I used my husband's old account, see, I lost track of where I was going. Previously, I would do tons of meetups. Like I wouldn't go out of my way. It would be like when I was running errands. It would always be in a public place with lots of people. I don't live in a city. I live in a rural area. And so I felt more safe that way. And I used my husband's old account, like I said. So people were expecting a guy, right? And then I show up and like, oh, I thought you were Matt. And so I'm like, oh, I just used my husband's account. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't need to do in-person meetups. It's all about personal preference. And then when COVID hit, I would do like porch pickups. Like I would just put it out in my driveway and people would leave cash in my mailbox. And I think everybody paid. Yeah, I've never been like, I think somebody might have shorted me a couple bucks once, but it was a free item, so it didn't really matter. So that's how I built up feedback, because ratings are important when you are starting out. Also, something to note when you're listing, if you are cross-listing like I have, it is public knowledge for buyers to see how many sales you have canceled. So I can't tell you the number of active listings I have. It's not as easy to sift through and filter as it is really popular platforms. You can look up an item. You don't have to continually go through, but it is, if you have a larger store, it is kind of tricky. So something to know, which is a tip, once you get your store going and you create listings, these are things that have worked for me, okay? So I have a lower average sale price. I would say it's probably around 20 bucks. Maybe even a little bit lower recently, because I've been selling a lot of, I've been getting a lot of rescue boxes. And so it's inventory that I would not typically buy at a thrift store. And so I'm just trying to flip it quick and recoup my money or make a little bit of profit. Okay. So if you're looking to have an average sale price of 50 bucks, Facebook Marketplace probably is not for you. I have noticed, because I've put tons of stuff on there, right? Between $0 and over $100. The items that are selling for me are like $30 and under. Mainly it's $20 and under sales. So if you can do a quantity, if you're a quantity seller, then Facebook Marketplace could be great for you. But if you're quality and you have higher dollar items, I don't know that you would have as high of sales currently. I was aiming with my business model, I did change it, and I was aiming to have an average sale price. I think it was like almost 40 bucks, but my sales took a huge dip in Q4, which is super weird because normally it's your best quarter. It was my worst, I think. And so I'm like just doing whatever, really, just listing something, 10 bucks here, 10 bucks there, and things are selling mainly on Facebook Marketplace for that price point. And I'll show you, I'll go through my Facebook and show you my sales, like my orders, without, giving out any buyer's information. So you create your listings, and I found that it's not based off of brand. I mean, yeah, people are going to look up like UGG, North Face, Under Armour, Nike, but things that have shocked me that I've gotten tons and tons of views for, because unlike Poshmark, if you're a Poshmark seller, just like eBay and Mercari, Facebook offers, it shows you the number of people that have viewed your listing. Now, if that is super accurate, I'm completely unsure, because I've listed an item for like 5 hours before and it had 800 views, and it was a pair of Rue 21 jeans that I got in a rescue box. And I was like, should I just donate these or should I try to sell them? But a huge factor in women's clothing is size, as is men's. And this was like a size 15, 16 in jeans, and they sold like pretty quick, I'd say within a day. And so those small brands, I've sold Walmart, Time and True. I mean, it's crazy the brands that are selling, and I'm going to show you I'm going to scroll through and show you and tell you guys, I got this there, I got this here, and all this. And the really important point for you is going to be your cost of goods, your buy-in price. Mine are always very, very low. Recently, I've been getting rescue boxes, but when I go in thrift, I try to get my items either at the bins. I will obviously pay up for items, but typically I don't pay more than $5, and I'm always honest with you guys and tell you the price that I pay for each of these items. Okay, so you get your items listed. People will message you. You have to have great customer service and you have to be patient. When somebody likes an item, and I've done this by mistake, and sometimes people just do it by mistake, there is an automated feature that you can click on under the listing that says, is item available? Now, as a seller on Facebook, you will get this all the time, and all I do is do the automated reply, yes or no. And obviously if it's listed, it should be yes, it's available. Because yes, there are people that are going to ghost you like quite a bit, but that's just part of business. It's kind of similar to Poshmark. You know, like somebody will ask you for a measurement in Poshmark and then you give it to them, which I don't. I try to list almost everything with measurements, but if somebody asks me a super detailed question about an item that's a little ridiculous, I don't respond. You know, I don't. You can if you want, but personally, I don't. Now, if it's a higher dollar item, that's a little bit different. There's always circumstances, you know, for every situation. Okay, so now a few tips. You need to go and read Facebook policies. Obviously, it's pretty broad and, like I said, streamlined with the other platforms as far as things you can sell and things you can't sell. But something to note, in my opinion, the scanning process for when they filter your listings before they go live, I think has become a little less strict. Before, I would get flagged if I used the word like wide leg pants, because they would see the word leg in there and think I'm trying to sell somebody's leg, which obviously I'm not, but it would get flagged and I would have to completely delete the listing. You can't edit the listing once it's been flagged. You have to completely delete it and start over. There is an appeal option, but I will tell you from personal experience, customer service from Facebook is crap. Like stinkola. It's so bad. Now, hopefully they change in the near future, and I'm guessing due to the pandemic, that could be part of it. I'm like super dry mouthed tonight. Sorry. Okay, so keep that in mind. You will learn as you list things you can say, things you can't say. I do usually put women's dress, girls, pants, boys. Like when you do your titles for eBay, you know, that's something that's recommended is you put the brand, the if it's men's, women's, the size, and then what the item is. That's how I personally do it, and it does not get flagged when you put men's, women's, because like a year ago, sometimes it would get flagged, and I'd be like, are you kidding me? And now it's not. I do still get flagged if I put leather in the title. I do not get flagged if I put leather in the description, okay? So just make note of that, that things don't necessarily get flagged if it's in the description versus if it's in the title, okay? Something that I've gotten flagged before is I was trying to sell some Bishop Hill, I don't know if you're familiar with Bishop Hill, Illinois, some Bishop Hill money that is pretty valuable. Now, it's not current, like it's not current currency, it's like collectible, something that's collectible. But it got flagged, and that was when I used my old account, and I think that might have been one of the, and I've also tried selling like World War II, like empty grenade shells. And, you know, obviously it got flagged. So I lived and learned. That was probably 2 years ago. That was on my other account. Since then, I switched over my husband's account. I would say probably 3 months ago, I appealed the decision for my main Facebook account. And I actually got it turned back on. So if I wanted to, I could list on my personal account. But I'm not going to because I've built up people following me. It's similar to like Etsy or Mercari on Facebook that people can follow your store or whatever. I don't have a name for it. It's just my husband's name. And so when you list an item, they can be notified. So when they go on to Facebook Marketplace, your item will pop up. Now, something that is also important to note, because I've seen a lot of people asking about this on social media. So I looked it up myself, and I will verify to you. So there's two things. A lot of people do not want to list on Facebook Marketplace because they don't want their friends and family to see they get spammed with all of these things on the news feed saying, oh, so-and-so listed this. So, and because you list like multiple things a day, and they would get annoyed and they would either unfriend you or block you. No, when you list an item on Facebook Marketplace, they will not be notified unless they are in Facebook Marketplace and they go on a Facebook Marketplace. They could see your listing pop up because it's within a general location nearby you possibly. So note that unless you share the listing to your family or friend, they will not see it. However, if you do list directly on Facebook, there is a feature when you're creating your listing down at the bottom that you can move this button over that says hide from friends list. Now, you don't have that feature when you are cross-listing. So just make note of that when you're cross-listing using, specifically, I'm talking about List Perfectly. There is not that feature, but I do not see it being an issue because I looked it up myself, and you're not going to be spamming your friends and family's newsfeed by posting. Now, when I post my items to Facebook Marketplace, most of the time, I would say like 95% of the time, I'm only posting to Marketplace, and I'll tell you why. Okay. When people go to buy things locally from Facebook, they are looking for typically yard sale prices. As a reseller, we can't really do yard sale prices and make profit. So I initially was pricing things, putting it on Facebook Marketplace and putting it on the local for sale groups. Tons of haters. If they don't like the price, they have to comment, or they have to give you that face that's like laughing face that makes you look like you're ridiculous for asking for that price. So I just decided, you know what? It's not even worth it. I don't like face-to-face interaction. Obviously, that's why I work from home and I love my job. So I would rather ship. Now, obviously, when you ship through Facebook, something also important to know is their selling fee, which is only 5%. 5%, guys. It's a lot better than the other. It's like half. Like, I think eBay's is now pretty much up to 13%. So, and this is 2021. This information is always changing, okay? So today's date is March 25th, 2021. You need to take that with a grain of salt. If you're watching this at a later date, even if it's like 6 months from now, things are continually changing, okay? And this is all just my opinions and experience. It's nothing like facts set in stone, unless I'm telling you something that I've specifically read off of Facebook's. I'm giving me my tips and tricks and all this. So just bear with me. Okay. So that's something to know when you are listing. Your friends will not see it. Don't freak out. Don't let that hold you back. Just go for it. Okay. You can also create a business page, which I actually did initially a while ago on my personal account, not realizing it. And so I don't drive traffic to my business page on Facebook because I don't want people to check out like my personal life, because I kind of keep it separate. They overlap a little bit just because I have kids and sometimes I'll be trying to work and they pop in, but I do try to keep that separate. So just, it's personal preference. Okay. Now, something that I do weekly is I will renew my listings. Now, what that means is that after an item is listed on Facebook Marketplace for 7 days, you have the option to click in blue font above your listing, renew your listing. Okay, so if you simply click that, a box will pop up and says renew your listing, and it pops your listing back up to the top. So it would be similar to like promoting on Mercari. It's also similar to sharing on Poshmark. And for eBay, it would be like ending a listing and creating a similar. So it just brings it back up into the search to the top and makes it easier for people to find your listings. So just, kind of a little tip, which I'm sure if you're an experienced seller, you know this, that to go through your Marketplace, you go to your listings and you scroll through and click renew your listings. I try to do these. I try to renew my listings on Thursdays or Fridays because people get like direct deposits on Thursdays or paid on Fridays. You know, they're impulsive, they're looking to spend more money. I don't hold, just personal preference. If you hold an item, like I haven't had anybody come back when I've reserved an item a couple times. So I just, say it's first come, first serve. I don't hold items. And overall, I've had a great experience with Facebook Marketplace. So I have been using it for a year, like I've said. And out of the whole thing, I've only had one return, and it was actually just a few days ago. So let me explain that. Facebook Marketplace, and I'm not going to have tons of information. This is something you'll personally need to read up on. So if you get an item and it's not as described, it's similar to eBay. Yes. Okay, Mandy, I'm going to get to that in a second. Okay, so for like a return, it's similar to eBay. You can request a return if the item is not as described. However, you cannot return an item if it like doesn't fit or you just don't like it. Okay, so that's just like something to note. So I sent a necklace last week. It was brand new. What I noticed when I was wrapping it up, that the chain, it was like a really cheap necklace. The chain had like little kinks in it, like the chain wasn't laying right. So I had to take out a little tool and flatten the chain, put it in its package, and send it on its way. Well, the buyer said that the chain was kinked when they received it, and I asked if they tried fixing it with, like fixing the chain, and they said yes, they couldn't get the kinks out. So unfortunately, I did have to refund that, but it has been my only issue, and they didn't open like a return through eBay, so it doesn't show as like a defect or anything on my account. Okay, now Mandy, you mentioned a good point. Now, you know how I was saying renew your listings specifically on the weekends because that's when people get paid or they're shopping more frequently on the weekends. Yes, I actually had 2 or 3 items sell today that I will show you, and I renewed them this morning. So just going to show you that. And they are stale listings that I've had on all my other platforms for probably 6 months. And I've slowly been cross-posting. My eBay store has about 950 listings. That store is called Cargill Collection. I started that one like 5 years ago. And then I've slowly gone on. Then I went on to Poshmark. Then I went to Mercari, Etsy. And, it just like trickles down. So yes, the probability of selling an item is I price my items on Facebook to sell. So I take pretty much the bottom price that I would sell it for, but still make a profit and make it worth my time to package it and ship it out. I always have the buyers pay for shipping across all my platforms. Okay. So I use Facebook Marketplace's labels. I think it's pretty reasonable. And I haven't had any complaints of shipping being too much. It's pretty standard. So, and obviously shipping rates raise every year or every 6 months. It just kind of depends. So keep that in mind as well, as it can change. So I think I have items sell immediately. I have them sell within hours or days. Now, yes, if I've had a listing that has been listed for like a month or longer, that's because I'm not renewing my listing. Like today I went through and renewed tons because like I said, my store is so large. I haven't taken the time because I list on all these other platforms, and like eBay and Poshmark are typically my largest source of income. And so Facebook is kind of like just this little fun thing, but it's been growing and growing and growing over like this last month or two. And I've gotten to thinking like, wow, if I put Facebook up and spend more time on it like I do with Poshmark and eBay, like how could it work out as far as growing my business? So yeah, I mean, wherever you put your time, it's going to grow. But I have been listing a lot of my ThredUp reclaims. I've been listing tons of jewelry. If you haven't seen my previous videos, Goodwill Blue Boxes, they drop every Friday night at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And one of the options to buy is 5 pounds of jewelry. Now, it can be broken pieces, it can be cheap jewelry, it can have gold, silver. These are highly profitable, and I could like make my own video about that because I just went through a box last night and like found tons of money just in a box. Tons. Very high return on investment. You do have to have knowledge on jewelry or do your research, but that's a whole other thing. Jewelry sells really well on Facebook Marketplace. So does shoes. Like, it's crazy. I'll have all these stale listings and then I'll put them on Facebook and they sell. And I'm going to go through and show you, as I go along. Okay. So I'm trying to think. I didn't write anything down. I'm just kind of going through my head. Okay. So renewing your listings on the weekends really helps. Also, I try to stay logged into Messenger on my selling account like the whole time, because when somebody messages me, I reply immediately because they are on there for an instant and then it's gone. So I will reply immediately. You can also, when you're listing, offer have a best offer feature, but personally I usually price my items to sell. However, if it's a stale listing, it's been listed for like a month or more, I'll be more negotiable. It depends how much I have into it, and you guys all know how that works. So for instance, today I had some mid-century modern little candlesticks that I've had for sale for honestly probably close to 2 years. I got them at the bins, so I paid maybe $1 for them. And I had them listed on Facebook for $20. And somebody asked if I would take an offer for $15. So I edited my listing to offer the best offer, and he sent the offer for $15, and I accepted. You will have people message you and be like, hey, will you take this much, even though you don't have the best offer feature? And that's when your negotiation skills come in and be like, I'm sorry, like I just listed this. Maybe after a few weeks, I will consider like an offer or something like that. But it depends if you are like a fast flipper or if you don't mind sitting on your items. Typically, I was like a slow dime and I'm turning more into a fast nickel. I'm getting there because there's more profit and I want to get my items moving. I'm not a storage facility. I'm a reseller, and I just have to keep telling that in my brain. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you my sales highlights. Now, this is over the last 2 weeks. My sales have been down probably 40 to 50% for the last couple of months. And yeah, my schedule's been crazy. I've got a lot going on in my life right now. And so I hadn't been consecutively listing. I finally gotten a good routine down the last couple of weeks. And I've been more consecutive and my sales have increased. Obviously, I'm sure yours have too. Like, what do you think? If you're still with me in the chat, let me know. Have your sales gone up due to people's tax returns, the stimulus money that came in, if you've gotten yours or not? But I've seen a huge increase, not just on Facebook, but eBay and Poshmark and like higher dollar sales. And I'll show you those. So to go over my sales over all the platforms, I'm also going to show you some BOLOs, which are be on the lookout, items that have higher resale value that you will want to try to keep in your brain for if you see them out when you are in the thrift stores. Okay, so that's all I had for Facebook. I will do more videos, but I just wanted to share my tips and tricks that quick communication, renew your listings, price right, because Facebook, I would say it's similar to Mercari as far as pricing. People don't want, it's not like Poshmark. Like, I'm trying to think, like the buyer is kind of like a Mercari buyer. They're looking for a good price. So, okay, yeah. I think it all depends on like how much you're listing, what you're listing. Like if you're listing swimsuits, sandals, shorts for the upcoming season, I think because I've noticed a lot of those items have been selling for me. So now keep in mind, I'm just going to show you my sales highlights. I'm not going to bore you with like the $10 sales, although I am going to go through first, since I've been talking about Facebook this whole time, 30 minutes already into my live. Gosh, guys, I am very chatty tonight. Okay, so I'm going to go through my sales for Facebook and show you how low. I think my lowest sale was $5, but it sold within like a minute, and it was a workout shirt someone gave me, so it's okay. All right, so I'm going to switch over in the vortex. Give me a second while I do switch over. I'm going to get this ready to show you my sales, and I have a million tabs open. So let's see. There it is. Okay. And let's see, I got a notification. Okay, I haven't had a sale since I checked. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over in the Vortex. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to share with you. Okay, now here we have everything. Okay, so these are items that have sold today since like this morning. I shipped out today. I typically ship out 3 times a week, every other day, but I think I had 8 sales since yesterday, which is higher for me. Typically, I sell like 4 items a day. I'm a part-time reseller. You know, I don't necessarily put in very many hours into my business. So, but I did see an increase in my sales, and somebody asked for me to ship an item out today that they purchased last night, and I will gladly do that. I do package pickup with USPS, so it's not a huge deal for me to just put stuff out in my garage and have the mail lady pick it up. I have a great relationship with her, so that helps. Okay, enough of me talking. Okay, so as you see here, this rough hewn, I typically do not pick up rough hewn or hewn, however you say it. They do have a line that seems to be a little trendier. It's rough hewn gray. And this was a gorgeous lace floral blouse. It's also a 1X. I sell tons of like extra large and plus size women's clothing really well. Now, I initially had this listed for $15. I think I listed it a while ago, and I did list it too high for Facebook. I lowered it to $10 today, and I renewed my listing, and boom, it sold. I paid a quarter for it at a garage sale last summer, and it's been on Facebook for, I don't know, 3 months maybe? Okay, the next item. This is a brand I sell so much. It's SAS. I can't remember what the full name is, but it's for older people. It's like orthopedic shoes, and they cost over $100. They're usually like $150 new. And I'll find them at the thrift store. I'll find them at the bins, and they sell all day for like $25 up to $40. So these I've had for probably 3 to 6 months, could be longer. I can't quite keep track of everything, but they sold for $30, and this was after renewing my listing. Again, the 3 that sold today, they were all renewed listings. And then and I believe I got those SAS shoes at the bins, so I paid like $1.50 for those. And then those candlestick holders I've had forever, like I said, and sold them for $15. And now we'll go down here. So, sorry, I keep touching my hair tonight. I don't know what my deal is. Okay, the Maurice's dress, somebody donated to me, so it's all pure profit. I've had it listed on all the other platforms for so long, for like $15, and with the lower selling fee, I just decided, you know, I'm pretty cheap on Facebook. I price my things to sell, so $10, and it sold. I think I did renew that one as well. Okay, the Knox Rose is just sold at Target. However, it has a following. And this outfit, I don't thrift Knox Rose, but I got it for Christmas as a gift. And it was so cute. I love the color, but it was huge. Like, I'm not an extra large. And unfortunately, I tried to return it, but it had been past like the time period. I didn't have their receipt. It was out of their system. So they're like, I'm sorry, we can't do anything. So of course, I'm going to try to sell it. It sold, guys, within minutes. Now, something I have learned with experience is if I find sets, like a top and bottoms, and to resell, before I would list them together and I could not sell them, even if they were the same size. So now I list them separately, and in the listing at the bottom, I will put, see my other listings for matching pants, or see other listings for matching top, vice versa. And also, if I have something that's very similar, I'll be like, check my other listings for other vintage girls dresses, because I sell tons of girls vintage clothes. Okay, so the Abercrombie & Fitch, which is having a comeback, a lot of bloggers are wearing them now. So if you can find them real cheap and they're a newer style, you can make a little flip on it. So those were a rescue box. I do not like picking up double zeros. I would not pick them up if I saw them in the wild. I just would not. But they sold for $10. You know, I'll take it. Okay, that's a workout tee I told you about that sold for $5. I don't know. I was just kind of testing it out. It's by Exertech. I don't even know. Is that like a Costco brand? And somebody gave that to me. And I actually had the buyer ask if I had more size large and extra large, so I could have made a bundle for them. But my life this last like couple of weeks has been so insane. I have not been quite on top of my customer service as I should be. Okay, the next one also sold within maybe an hour of listing. And it is Salvador Dali, you know, the artist, the melting clock. It was a necklace. It was pretty cool, trendy piece. This came in the Goodwill Blue Box. I mean, I can sell tons of their necklaces if they're like a modern piece, even if it's unbranded, for $10. So I will list it exclusively on Facebook. All right. There's that Time and True, which is sold at Walmart. I love their clothes personally. I think I own some of their tops and they are very cute and cozy. So that came in a rescue box and I was really debating, but they're capris. They're a size 10. They're a trendier piece. So I'm like, okay, why not? Sold them probably within 1 or 2 weeks of listing. Now the mom necklace, as you can see, it says refunded. Unfortunately, I did have to refund them that necklace, but it came in the blue box. So I'm not really out money, just out my time for listing it. Okay, the next one is really cute. It's like those realistic dolls. It's not a reborn, but it's similar. And I found that at a thrift store for $7. I could have gotten a lot more money for it. However, unfortunately, the dress that the doll came in was blue and the dye transferred all over the skin. I tried Googling it like for ways to remove it out of the skin. I couldn't get it. So I sold it as is really quick. Probably within hours. Yeah. And I sold it for $40. So 7 into 40. That's still a decent profit. Just showing you guys like through 21. Those are those jeans at 15, 16. Yeah, I sold them for $8. Some other girls' clothes, some jewelry, some vintage clothes. Those trains were my son's. Now, so the Goodwill Blue Boxes, I would say about half of the stuff is crap. Like either broken pieces or really cheap jewelry that's not worth my time. So I just lot it up into like 2.5 pounds and sell it really quick for $10 and just recoup some of my money and get it out the door. So like I have another 2.5 pounds of jewelry I need to get listed, and they sell very fast on Facebook Marketplace, which is nuts because so the buyer pays $10 for the rescue, well, for the mystery box of jewelry, but they also pay $12 to ship it. So anything with Facebook's shipping labels, anything from 2 to 5 pounds is $12. So keep that in mind, okay? Some old stuff of mine. I sell lots of hats as well. We could go on and on. I'll just show you some other quick stuff. Some boys' jeans, which came in a rescue box. Those Pokemon things were my husband's. Just like a random assortment of all this stuff, okay? Now, as you see, I've canceled 4 items that have previously sold on other platforms, and that's a no-no, but you know, we all make mistakes. Okay, and you probably hear my daughter. I'm wondering how long she's gonna cry. Don't worry, my husband's listening to her. I'm wondering when he's gonna go in and get her. Okay, I'm gonna switch over now, guys. Here we go. I'm gonna go over my sales. Okay, this is now, I'll go platform by platform. We're gonna start with Poshmark. My Poshmark has been probably tied as far as number, like profit, with eBay. Huge boom. eBay's usually number 1. I'd say it's tied. Okay, DKNY shocked me. I've heard that it used to do really well on ThredUp, so I got this blazer specifically for ThredUp. Got it as a reclaim, put it up for $40 or $45 on Poshmark, and went back and forth with somebody, I think, and sold it for $30, and I paid $1.50 for it, so I'm good with that. It's really pretty. Okay. The next one, okay, this is a really nice brand. Unfortunately, I've only found it once ever in my thrifting career. I'm sure if you lived like in the Southwest or like on the West Coast, you would find it more frequently, but it's Arc'teryx. I'll show you their logo that you'll want to make note of if you see it on pieces of clothing. It's like, is that a reptile scale? Like a lizard skeleton almost? So just keep that in mind. I had this listed for what, like 60 or 55 and took an offer, or no, I sent out an offer for 48. The majority of my sales on Poshmark are sending offers to likers, and I send the offer as soon as they like an item. Because like I said, people are impulsive, they're quick, they want to make a quick purchase and move on. Okay, this item, I will be completely honest, I've had this for sale for over a year. It was it new with tags or new without tags? And it did, again, just because an item retails for a lot doesn't mean it's going to resell for a lot. And this was case in point. It was a trendy piece, and it was a men's 2X, which is like the best size. However, I had a hard time moving it. I don't know why. I think I had it listed for 60, and I sent out an offer for 50, and it sold. And I believe I paid like $1.50 for that, maybe $3. Okay, swimsuits. I sell tons of plus size skirted swimsuits, even non-plus size skirted swimsuits, just like a modest swimsuit. They always sell like for $20 to $30, even if they're used. And here's an example. I think I had it listed for $35, and somebody sent me an offer for $30, and I gladly accepted. And that's $1.50. Goodwill in Central Illinois used to offer the last Tuesday of every month, $1.50 for all their clothes. And last month, I think they raised it to $2. And I can go to other places and get items for $1. So I would obviously rather pay $1 than $2. So, okay, next item is another piece of jewelry from my Goodwill Blue Boxes. Sterling silver is always marked 925. You have to have a magnifying glass or very good eyes, as you can see there. I use the magnifier on my phone. It's amazing. Having a great camera, obviously, on your phone is something super important if you are a reseller. Okay, I think I had this listed for like 30, maybe 35, and somebody sent me an offer, or I sent them an offer for 25. Okay, somebody bought some other stuff previously from me, and then they wanted to include this, so I just sent them an offer. My husband got these at an auction. They are really cool, like green 70s canisters with the lids. I don't know what it is, but I've had them for 2 years. They weren't listed for a point. They fell off, and then I relisted them, cross-posted them, and they were listed for 50. I sent an offer to her for 35 just because they need to go, and she accepted. Okay, and this is the same buyer, just a different order. This is, let's see. Now keep in mind this was a bundle, so I did not sell it for all the prices you see there. I sold it together for an offer of $58. Okay, that novelty gag gift toilet paper was hilarious. It's like sex education with funny things written, like inappropriate things written on the toilet paper. Got it at a garage sale for like $25, but when I got it home, I realized they were heavy smokers. I noted that in my description, as I typically don't like to sell things that smell, but it was like a gag gift, so whatever. And then those coasters I actually bought off of Instagram, and the colors just don't go with my home. So it did take probably a year to get what I wanted out of them, just to recoup my money. And then the last was a candle I think that somebody gave me. Yeah. I'm just trying to hear if I can hear my daughter. Because now I'm questioning if my husband can hear her. This is so annoying. She's not really crying, but we also lost our video monitor, so I can't actually see her. And she's teething. She's like 18 months. Normally we have a video monitor. We can hear and we can see her. And this last week, she got a hold of it, and it's lost. So I'm just going by sound. Okay, moving on. And then sometimes I swear she's crying, and she's really not. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going kind of slow this tonight. Okay, vintage men's cardigans sell so well for me, and this is just a prime example. If you know anything about vintage, you know it's more about style, not so much brand. I don't think the brand is what sold this. I think because it's cable knit, the collar, it looks like very varsity preppy, just a classic one. And it sold I think it was listed for 50, or was it listed for 60? Gosh, I can't remember how much I sold it for. It was close to asking price, I believe, like maybe $10 off. And I got that I did pay $3 for that, but that's fine. Okay, guys. You hear that skinny jeans are out, low-rise jeans are in, and a lot of us don't want to believe it. And case in point, Y2K jeans sold. I actually had this exact pair probably 15 years ago. Low-rise, hydraulic flare jeans. Are those flare, or are they boot cut? Okay, now I sell jeans with very long inseams really well. And this could be why possibly it helped, but they sold pretty quickly. I had them listed for like 35, sent out an offer for 28, and they sold. I did not thrift these. They came in a rescue box, but I'm completely shocked. And I would buy them if I could get them for like $1 or $2. I would totally buy them at the thrift now because they sold within a day or two of listing. Okay, moving on to eBay. Whew, guys, discontinued products sell, and I love selling them. I wish I could find them more. Scrubbing Bubbles has an automatic shower cleaner that is a Bolo, including the refills for it. So these are huge, 34 ounces each. This sucker weighed 9 pounds. I shipped it out today via FedEx because it was heavy. Okay, $100. I paid $4 a piece, so yeah, I paid $12, but definitely a good ROI. No, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm drinking Sprite Zero. It's just my mom brain. It's always like this. Okay, so yeah, $100, guys. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Here is another item. Now, I typically don't do auctions. This did sell on auction. If I'm not quite sure on a price, I had 5 watchers on this. You know, I had pretty much no money into it. Very low buy-in cost. And it's not pure gold. As you can see, it's 1/20th, 12 karat. So I think it came down to like 1 gram of pure gold, which is about $30 per gram. That's just a whole other story. If you sell jewelry, you need to know your costs of per gram. Okay, so I had 5 watchers. Unfortunately, only had 1 bid and $25. But you know what? It's okay. It's out of my house. Made a quick $25. But I could have listed this, buy it now, and probably gotten like 50. So next time, I think I'll just sell it that way. Okay, I love this. I got these sunglasses for $2 at a thrift store because of the tortoise shell. If you're not familiar, tortoise shell is that brown. It was really popular. I mean, it's still popular, but really common in like the 60s and 70s, actually, and 80s. But love these. I would have personally kept them, but they were too wide for my face. So I got them for $2. I had them listed probably close to 6 months. And they did not sell for the price you see there. I sent out an offer for $120 and somebody accepted. It did take them 2 days to pay, and an unpaid case is like automatically opened for eBay for me. And I really thought they weren't going to pay for them, but they did when the case opened. So that's great. So $120. Yes, I loved it. And yeah, I modeled them because I have like a fake head. But there is, it's like a styrofoam head and the face got damaged. And so I'm like, okay. And, yeah, so that was a nice flip. Here's another nice flip. I got these for free. People will just give you stuff. It's crazy. These were beautiful. I'm not sure what century. They were very mid-century. They were at least from the 70s, very high quality with glass, fully functional, gorgeous. I sent out an offer. I've had these for sale for probably 9 months. And I sent out an offer. I had tons and tons of likes and watchers and everything. And I started my price like $175, which is probably too high. I sent out an offer on eBay for $99.99 and they sold. I guess something that makes me nervous is I shipped them out the other day, but they sold to like someone in Asia. That's pretty far from the States. And so I'm really concerned. But if you're not familiar with the GSP program through eBay, if the item is damaged between Kentucky, which is where they ship out to their overseas destination. If it is damaged, you get reimbursed for that, because I have had an item go to Canada, like some mixing bowls, and they arrived damaged. So I was reimbursed through eBay. Didn't have to file a claim, which was nice. So, but you can ship directly, and it possibly could have been cheaper, but you wouldn't be protected as much. Okay, next. So yeah, I've had some higher dollar sales. Okay, something I love picking up is men's vintage jackets and coats. I like jackets better just because they take up less space and it's cheaper to ship. So I always look for the big zipper pulls. Do you see that? And it's marked by either Talon. There's a lot of different kinds, and people like to know like the kind of zipper that's on it, if it's metal, nylon, who the zipper is by. So cool piece. I think there were some flaws on it, but I sell tons of flawed stuff. Men's 2X. It's pretty cool. Yeah. 40 dice. I'm trying to think if I sold it for 40 or if I sent out an offer. I think it was. Yeah, I think I sold that for 40. Okay. Whoops. Okay, here is another Goodwill Blue Box. I'm telling you guys. Oh, I just started listing stuff. Was it last week? And I've been making a killing. It's making me rethink, like, should I just start selling like mainly jewelry because it's so easy. Okay, another aquamarine stamped 925, which is sterling silver. It did have some wear on the sides, which I fully disclose all flaws. You need to be completely honest. That's another tip for Facebook. As a reseller, you know that. If there's any flaws or any signs of wear, to show it and note it in your description. Okay, and on the clasp and the pendant will always be stamped if it's gold, silver, platinum, whatever. Okay, so that was $30. Okay, this is just something interesting to show you. It wasn't like a high dollar flip, but vintage cards, they do have like a following, and this one was hilarious. I actually kept it, and I was going to personally use it in case, but I never send out cards, like not even birthday cards. I'm really bad, and I'm so sorry. Okay. Thay, are you thick? Oh, fit. Like, you have a lisp. It's cute. Somebody bought it. Get well soon. Yeah, it's adorable. I would say it's probably from the 70s, don't you think, by the font and the cartoon character. $15, and it was free. So I have had that listed for a year though. So that was a very slow sale. Mercari, it's not a huge platform for me, and it's usually lower dollar items similar to Facebook. This one, you guessed it, Goodwill Blue Box. It's very similar style to Tiffany's. I wish it was Tiffany's. There was actually wear on the heart, if you can see that, but it is stamped 925. Also, if you are interested into selling jewelry, especially if it's like gold or silver, and yes, that my scale is like absolutely nasty. I need to wipe it down because you can see how dirty, but people love to see how many grams because they'll hoard jewelry and like have it melted down or keep it in their house because, whatever. That's what people used to do, and some people still do that, which, cool. All right, so if you're not familiar with Shop Thrilling, it's strictly a vintage reselling platform. Pretty cool, based out of California. I have a specific video on it if you're interested in selling on there. 10% flat selling fee. My price points are Etsy price points, so I make about 25% more. Have had this hat for probably 9 months listed. I got it for free. I usually do pretty well with rope hats. It's tie-dye and it's Hawaii. It's embroidered like rainbow colors. It's got a lot going on for it. Sold it for $40. Great condition. So yes, please. All right, and here's another great sale for me. For Etsy, you could go to Flipper Tools and I could show you exactly how much it sold for, but I don't want to take that extra step. So this one sold for $125 and then $40 to ship. And yes, it took all $40 to ship it. It was massive. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's 30 inches tall. So another bolo to note is Gemmy, Gemmi. animated decorations, seasonal decorations. Even if it's not animated, it can be worth some money. They have a following. This one actually flipped faces and like screamed. It was pretty creepy. My kids were totally creeped out by it. We thought about keeping it, but they were real scared with it. So I sold it, and I did have this listed for 9 months. Got it at a yard sale for $5. The lady's like, oh, it doesn't work. But I kind of like to tweak with things a little bit. A lot of times people just don't know how to clean out corroded battery compartments, things like that. And so it didn't take very long. Pretty cool dude. I think he says stuff and interesting, right? He's pretty rare. It sold for $125, and I just got feedback today. They really liked it. So yes, remember Jemmy. Okay, I'm going to switch back over. That's all I had for you guys. Yeah, all right. Get back on my YouTube. I think, yeah, there I am. Okay. San Antonio shoes. All right. Oh, is that what you mean with the sass? I can't remember. I sell them quite frequently. Yeah, so I'm just now seeing the chat, Mandy, if you're still with me. So I'll be replying to it now. Yeah, so selling pieces separately, it got really annoying when I would send sets into ThreadUp and they would separate it. But as a business point, I totally get it because I'm selling my sets now when I sell them individually. Just letting people know that I have the other piece if they are interested. So, you relisted items today from a set. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? When you change things up and then it just clicks like, oh, I should have been doing this the whole time. I don't know. It's nuts. But thank you for still with me. I've been on for almost an hour, 59 minutes to be exact. Enough of me rambling. I showed my sales, gave you some little tips and things that have worked for me on Facebook. So my life has been crazy. I kind of briefly mentioned last week, my grandmother fell and broke her hip. She had surgery, and she's doing better. She got moved into a rehab facility, but like I stated before, my mom is down in Florida right now, and so between myself and my sisters, we need to look out for my grandma. And so on top of, just my kids and my business, I now need to, make sure my grandma is getting all the proper therapy and that she's comfortable. And something that's so hard is that, I would stop and visit with my grandma a couple times a week while my parents, they snowbird down in Florida. And so, I'd get my grandma groceries, and she used to love to get like Arby's. I drive through and get her food, and I can't see her for 14 days. I completely understand, but just emotionally for grandma, I think it would be really hard. And so today I went and saw her. I can do a window visit. I don't know if you guys have any parents or grandparents in nursing homes, but with the pandemic, it has definitely been different, and I think very hard for them and very isolating. And so I can't see my grandma for like 12 days. I went and saw her through the window today, but she is laying in bed. She didn't have her hearing aid in, and I was like yelling through my face mask. So I don't know if she got everything, but I got to see her. And something to note is that if you have somebody elderly who is kind of lonely, something that I would really suggest is to get a digital picture frame. They used to cost like $100, but I went on eBay and you can get them for like $30, if not cheaper, and use like USB or flash drive or a flash drive or something, and just put your family pictures on there. And my grandma has told me again and again, because she's had it before, that she feels like she's not alone, and she will just sit there for a long time and watch pictures. When you get older, the world slows down and your life slows down, and you appreciate the little things. And so just keep that in mind. If you have somebody that you really care for and they are lonely, a digital picture frame could really bring joy to their life. Her face lit up today because I was there outside the window and I was instructing the nurse, or I don't know if she was a I don't know what her position was, but she was putting the picture frame together for me and turned it on. So, and grandma's like, oh, and she really enjoyed it. So that was nice to see. But I've had a lot on my plate. And also, if you've been with me before, I work out like probably 5 to 6 days a week at the local gym. And so that usually takes up my mornings. And still going strong. I've lost like a pant size and down one size. I would like to lose another pant size, but for only doing it 4 weeks, I'm very pleased with my progress. So just going on this new healthy lifestyle journey, and my husband is also along with me, so that's very nice. And he celebrated a birthday yesterday, turned 35. I am now married to a mid-30s man, which makes me feel very old. I'm only 1 year younger, so I'm not far behind. But we're going out Saturday to celebrate, but we just found out today that his favorite restaurant in the town we're going to, that he's been craving for a long time, is permanently closed, which is really sad. The pandemic has really hurt the restaurant business, and it is unfortunate. However, I feel like we are on the upswing of things personally, and I hope it is going to move on behind us. I just heard or saw on the internet that Pfizer is testing the vaccination for children, which is always scary, obviously, giving something you don't know into your kid. But we will get there and we will see, and it's all about staying safe. And yes, everybody has a choice, and that's what I love. We all have choices. You don't have to have the vaccine if you don't want to. It's all your personal preference. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining and sticking with me for so long. And don't forget, before you leave, to give me a like. It really helps out in the algorithm. And comment down below. Do you sell on Facebook? Did you learn anything from my video, or are you just here for entertainment? I would love to know. But I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a thriftalicious day, everyone. Bye.